can cities prepare for flooding like we're seeing right now in Houston? To weigh in, I'm joined by Glenn McGillivray, Managing Director of the Institute for Catastrophic Loss Reduction. Good morning. Welcome back to our program.
Good morning.
So about 50 inches of rain is expected to fall on Houston. I believe that is just today. What could the city have done to try to minimize some of the damage? And I'll point out, we still don't even know the full extent of the damage because they're still in the middle of this thing.
Absolutely. Well, first off, 50 inches of rain is an incredible amount of rain, and no city could come out of this unscathed. So that's important to note. That doesn't mean certain things couldn't be done. And one of the concerns about Houston is the sprawl, the growth of that city over the years. It's been gobbling up green space and wetlands for a number of years, putting in subdivisions in exchange. And that's a huge problem. I mean, these greenlands and wetlands help you manage water, particularly large amounts of water. And it would be interesting to note how that city might have performed if it hadn't lost all that wetland over the years.
So was Houston then prone for a flood like this, given all the pavement there?
Absolutely. And these floods are nothing new to Houston, perhaps not like we're seeing today, but they had a really big one earlier last year. And one 11 months prior to that, they've had historic floods from hurricanes as well. So, you know, it's nothing new to Houston, and they know the susceptibility of flood, and yet they've been developing like there's no tomorrow.
Is there a way to develop and prevent catastrophic flooding?
Absolutely. I mean, we can build and still maintain wetlands and green space. One of the things is to guard against sprawl. It's spreading out, gobbling up these important lands. You know, cities like Toronto are going more towards density. Dense cities are more efficient cities. They don't take up as much room, and you can still have proper green space and wetlands and still be dense.
What happens to all that water in the days to come in Houston? Where does it go?
At some point, it's going to get back into the main bodies of water that go down to the Gulf of Mexico, and it'll pour down into the Gulf. But right now, there's no place for it to go. The bayou, Buffalo Bayou, is full. The reservoirs are full. I just heard just a few moments ago that a levee has topped its banks. So there's just no place for it to go but to spread outward because it's so flat and featureless in Houston, similar to, you know, some places in Saskatchewan. So it's going to take time for this water to recede, but in the meantime, it just keeps raining and raining and raining.
Do you think we could see this type of disastrous flooding anywhere here in Canada?
Well, you know, this is a tropical event, and so we're not going to see 50 inches of rain in this period of time. But we don't need 50 inches to have a big disaster. I mean, if you look at the Toronto flood of July 2013, that was caused from 4.5 inches of water. $1 billion insured loss from 4.5 inches of water. And the rainfall in southern Alberta in 2013, while excessive, is nowhere near what they're getting in Houston. So we don't need 50 inches to get a disaster. And we see time and time again that much lesser storms cause problems up here in Canada, particularly, again, because of all the pavement.
Glenn, final question. Do you think they should have evacuated Houston before the storm hit?
It's not really for me to say, but I think I would like to see an investigation into whether that was a good decision or not. Russell Honore, who was in charge of the Katrina effort many years ago, said 2 nights ago on CNN that he hopes that this is not a new doctrine in emergency management, where we wait for the flood and then get people out. He is very much against this decision. So we'll have to wait and see what the verdict is.
Glenn McGillivray, thank you so much. Appreciate your time with us.